Alright, hey YouTube, this is Dude One with Dippin' Dudes. I'm going to show a quick video today. What I've got here is a 1999 Dodge Ram. This is the sport model, so it's got the overhead computer as well. But what happened was when I was, it was at night obviously, I turned on the light, and I don't know if you can see up in there, but the switch broke. So it turned the light on, and then the spring popped out. I wasn't able to turn it back off again. So I ended up having to pop out the lens. The lens is up in there like that. I had to pop that out and then pop out the light bulb because it was just on. And obviously it was dark outside, so I needed the light, but I didn't want to drive with the light on. And it just stayed on. So I finally just popped that out of there. And then set my parts aside so that until I had time to work on it. So today's the day. So what I'm going to do is in order to get to that, I have to take this whole console thing off of the ceiling. And there's a trick to getting that off without breaking it. And I'll show that. These two little clips up inside here, you have to suppress those with your thumbs while you pull down. And then up in this section here are some clips that slide back. So you'll go towards the rear of the vehicle once the front end drops down, slide the thing back, and then the whole thing will drop down. There's obviously power to this because we have lights, so there's going to be an electrical connector up in there as well. So I'm going to pop that off and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's get this thing out. So you guys can see it. The camera will stay. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, this thing is in there really tight. Gotta get your fingers up behind it. Like so. And then, like I said, there's electrical connections here. I got the trip computer, temperature, all that, the overhead stuff. And all of that is run from what looks like just one connector. Push the little tab, pull it out, and now we have access to it, and we can get to work on getting that button fixed. Hopefully all the parts are still up in here somewhere, so let's take this to the workbench and work on it. Okay, so what we've got, I'm actually missing parts and pieces. When I took it apart in the dark, obviously pieces went flying. I'm missing the spring, and on the end of the spring is supposed to be a metal connector to hold it back in place. And I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, and if you look close at that looks an awful lot like the inside of a ballpoint pen with the push top like this. So when you push the top, it locks in place, opening it. And that's the exact same mechanism that takes place inside of the switch that's working. So I'm hoping that if I pull apart that pen, I can try to salvage this and make it work. So let's see what we've got in here. I'm going to end up having to use this spring. I'm going to have to modify it somehow. I'm not sure exactly what's going to take place yet. But, ooh, check that out. That might actually work. Not sure yet. That's close. I might have to go digging for some other ballpoint pens to try to find a match. Let me dig for a part that might work, and then we'll pick this up again. Alright, so here's what we got. I've taken just about every pen apart in the house. Okay, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. And I just cannot find one that functions like this switch that works. I took the other one apart so I could see exactly what I'm dealing with. But you can hear that clicking like this. And I've tried to modify the interior of a pen, that sort of thing. Anyway, long story short, it's a simple switch, so I'm going to end up just having to modify this whole housing. I'm going to drill a little hole there and mount a manual switch there, and I may do the other side too, just so that I am matching on both sides. It's not going to be stock by any means, but almost nothing on my truck is stock at this point. So this requires a trip to the store that I wasn't counting on, which is alright, I guess. Just buy a couple switches, little mount there, clip these wires, connect it, and then we'll be back in business. Okay, so this is what I got at the store. These little blue LED light toggle switches. So they'll toggle on and off, and they'll glow a little bit blue, which is fine because I have a lot of blue accents in my truck already. And it was only like $1 more per switch for ones that had the glow as opposed to didn't. Ones that didn't had a little red LED light on them. And I kind of didn't like that, so, or like a diode light, I should say. So what I'm going to do is I've got to mount these things in here. It's going to be a pretty tight fit. There's some mounting things on the back for this little reflector that I'm going to try to modify a little bit and see if I can get that farther out of the way to give me some more room. So I can go a little bit wider with those, so I have a little bit of material down the middle. But I'm going to get after it. I'll put the time-lapse camera on and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're to the point of testing this to make sure it's working. I don't have the wires routed through the holes yet, and I left my bulb in for the passenger side when I was drilling, and it busted the bulb, so not the bulb, but the filament inside. So anyway, I plugged it in, and check that out, we have light, so that's good. I moved the bulb from one side to the other to make sure that that works too. So now I just need to replace a bulb, run my wires through, and we should be good to go. And when they're on, we have blue LEDs. So that's pretty much fantastic. So now let's just lock this thing back into place, and again, I don't know if you can see that real well, but the back ones are like a hook, like that, so they go up in and then slide forward towards the front to lock in place. So we'll get that one in place. Should be able to see where I'm going here. Locked it in, we should be locked and loaded. And this is annoying, I broke the little clip on my sunglass holder. Back in the day, on light, but there's no bulb. So put my caps back on after I get a bulb in that one, and job's done. Thanks for watching. Again, this is a 1999 Dodge, it's a Gen 2. So thanks for watching. This is Dippin' Dudes, dude number 1, out. Thanks. Be sure and subscribe.